Welcome to Market Updates with Master Quency. Do us a favor by smashing the like button and subscribe for more market updates. We appreciate you for watching. Now let's dive into the video.
What's good, family? What's good, family? It's Master Quency, and welcome back to another episode of Market Updates. You know, where we talk about what's really happening in the markets and what it means for the union, which is, you know, the community that's focused on discipline, ownership, and financial elevation, right? Now, today we're touching on 4 key stories shaping the tech and investing world. AMD's 1.5 billion chip setback. We're going to talk about why the U.S. restricted sales to China, Tesla's robotaxi leap, right? And the downfall of iRobot and the lessons behind it. Now, typically when I drop the news for you guys, it's to help you understand what to focus on, what to pay attention to. So I'm not only just keeping you updated, I'm also teaching you how, if you pay close attention, take notes, teaching you what to focus on. So you'll know what markets to pay attention to over a long period of time. So if you want to look at certain stocks or certain cryptos or certain ETFs, you'll know what to look for when you are doing your research on these companies, right? So always keep that in mind. I'm going to share some information with you guys as well. Now, AMD earlier this year recently announced that U.S. export restrictions will cost the company roughly $1.5 billion in revenue this year, right? And squeeze profit margins to around 43%. Now I get it. That sounds rough. Now let's keep it real. AMD didn't get punished, right? They just got caught in the middle of something bigger. They got caught in the middle of something that's bigger. This isn't about business mistakes. It's about national security. You know what I'm saying? It's about national security. And we got to look at the full picture, right? The U.S. government placed limits on selling advanced AI chips to China because, think about it, right? Those chips, whether it's AMD, whether it's Intel, whether it's NVIDIA, those chips are powerful enough to run supercomputers, defense systems, and AI surveillance tools. Right? And they just don't feel comfortable. The U.S., they need approval on. They want that approval before they sending chips out. You know what I'm saying? Now, officials, they don't want that technology used in ways that could threaten cybersecurity, national defense. So they said, you can't sell your most powerful chips without U.S. approval. Just, you know what I'm saying? Now, this applies to AMD, NVIDIA, and Intel. All of them build the kind of processors that push AI to the limits. Now, I know you think that this $1.5 billion hit would have a huge dip or some huge effect on the markets, and we're going to get into that. So pay very close attention, especially if you're an investor. You know what I'm saying? If you're new to this and not true to this, just keep watching. Watch me every day. You're going to see what's going on. Now, these restrictions, it mainly target chips used for AI training, data centers, and supercomputers, not the regular PC or gaming chips that the public buys. Right? AMD's MI300 and MI308 chips fall under this rule. They are designed for massive AI workloads, and companies like Alibaba, Baidu, and Tencent, they would normally buy these in bulk, but now they cannot. Why? Because of the restrictions, right? China used to make up about 10 to 20% of AMD's total business. That's why losing those sales equals around 1.5 billion in impact, right? Now, AMD can still sell lower end chips there, just not the heavy hitters. Nvidia even tried releasing a light version of its AI chips, but the government tightened the rules again. They're like, no, we're not having this. we not having this. We trying to be the leaders of artificial intelligence, and y'all giving out y'all business is being sold to some of the most creative inventors in the world. Not even necessarily creative, because China steal a lot of ideas. They make everything, right? We know about China, how they get down. They do their thing, right? So I could see them taking those chips and basically making replicas of those. Now, the bigger message here, this is a tech company, right? Not a competition, right? This is a tech leadership competition, not a punishment. Now, whoever controls the chips controls the intelligence. So America's protecting its advantage, right? And AMD, they're adapting. They're doubling down on growth in Europe and the United States instead. Now, the takeaway for investors, don't panic when a company faces new regulations. Look at how they pivot, because the smart ones always find a new lane. They're going to always find a new lane. Now, I want you to, I'm going to share this with you guys. Now, this was updated May 6th. I think the restrictions was a couple of months before that. This has been going on all throughout the year. I want you to think about where AMD is right now as we speak, right? Now, when that news hit of them having that $1.5 billion effect, right? It had a $1.5 billion drop. But look at where it's at now, right? It didn't dip. The prices didn't drop $100 or nothing like that. AMD is still looking strong. So for a company, this tells you a lot about their future and their growth. For them to take a $1.5 billion hit, which this happens to the best of stocks. This happens to the best of companies, right? It took a $1.5 billion hit, but it's not in turmoil right now. The markets are doing just as good as they was since the announcement was made. Have to take that into consideration. That lets you know that this company is trusted, right? And you can't always put your total trust in everything. But me personally, I would seek that long-term growth. I would be looking for that long-term growth, because how can you have a strong hit like that and then the markets are still doing fine? The markets are not in turmoil, right? Somebody told me, left a message on my comments and said I be taking too long to land my plane. You got to understand, I teach, you know what I'm saying? So I'm committed to making sure that people understand. So I may sometimes take a long time to land my plane, but I want people to truly understand and get what it is I'm talking about. no matter what it is, whether it's stocks, whether it's, you know what I'm saying, life in general, whether it's quick trading. And I'm going to be going back to doing my daily live soon. I want to let this government information slow down. All this stuff is crazy. What's happening right now, but it's only temporary. We are gonna go. If everything happens the way it's supposed to, we're gonna have some very great times, especially for, you know, long-term investors. I can see some great stuff happening. Advanced Micro Devices delivered first quarter earnings that topped analysts' estimates as sales from its data center segment surge. The chip maker reported revenue of $7.44 billion, up 36% year over year and ahead of the analyst consensus from Visible Alpha. Adjusted net income of $1.57 billion or 96 cents per share rose from $1.1 billion or 62 cents per share a year earlier, above Wall Street estimates. So this came out after some of those announcements earlier this year, and even since then, pay close attention to what AMD is doing right now after an announcement that has a $1.5 billion hit. You're gonna be amazed, like, wow. Go look at it. Go look at the chart. Go look at the chart on AMD. And you're gonna see, like, oh man, I see why Master Quency has AMD in his portfolio. Yep. I'm treating AMD like my savings account right now. I'm telling you right now. And that's not the only one. Remember, you always got to diversify your portfolio, and I'm gonna talk to you guys more about that. It's so much to learn about this stuff. So now let's move on to AI on wheels. We're gonna talk about AI on wheels, man. Elon Musk, he just confirmed that Tesla plans to remove human safety monitors from its RoboTaxi program by the end of 2025, starting in Austin, Texas, right? So we starting. We right up the street from Austin, Texas, right? We are in Houston. So right now, every Tesla RoboTaxi still has a safety driver, a person behind the wheel who can take over if the system makes a mistake. Now, removing that driver, what does that mean for investors? What does that mean for people? What does that mean? Removing that driver means Tesla already believes this. It believes that its full self-driving software is ready to operate solo. Now, when you think about it, when something is ready to operate, when an owner of a company or a business says, okay, we're putting this out there for people to experiment, trust me, they've already experimented it enough, especially when it's dealing with safety, right? So if he has the confidence to have this ready to go by the end of 2025, think about it. You have to think about, should I have trust in Tesla or should I not? Right? Me personally, I've always looked at Tesla as a driving force, right? And I'm going to continue to look at it that way. I'll share some documents with you guys shortly. All right. Now, if it's ready to operate solo, you got to look at it like that's a massive leap, right? From self-driving to fully driverless. And if Tesla succeeds, it could change how we think about ownership, insurance, transportation entirely, right? But it also comes with risk and heavy scrutiny, right? Without a human backup, every move the car makes is on Tesla. And you got to think about it. right? Like, if they're bringing this out to the public, that means it's been tested multiple times. This is why I put my trust in it. This is innovation. You know what I'm saying? This is innovation meeting accountability. And it's the moment that will define how fast the world truly accepts AI behind the wheel. You know what I'm saying? I have a Tesla. I bought my wife a Tesla. And I could say I've had no issues with the self-driving. You know what I'm saying? Now, for us investors, remember, Tesla isn't just an EV company anymore. It's a data and software company that happens to sell cars. Yeah, it just happened to sell vehicles. You know what I'm saying? The RoboTaxi push is their next big revenue frontier. And I've said this multiple times, that Tesla is more than just some car company, y'all. It's not just about cars. It's about artificial intelligence. It's about solar panels. It's about technology. So you got to think about it. Even if there's issues with the robotaxis, which is one of the next, that's our next wave for Tesla. Let's say that just don't work out. Something happens and that don't work out. Tesla still has many avenues. And when I talk about iRobot, you'll understand why I'm bringing this up now. Why it's so important. Why it's so valuable. Why you should take this into consideration on what it is I'm talking about right now. Tesla has great adoption, innovation, and that's what's important. Anytime something adapts well, what's this? Is this a Tesla? That look like a Jaguar. This car is reserved for the next driver.
And the all-electric car.
This is my first time seeing this, y'all. Okay. Musk emphasizes safety limits. Musk emphasizes safety. Limits robotaxi operations to specific conditions. Republican Texas governor signs bill regulating autonomous vehicles. Law does not take effect until September. We're in October. So what's going on with that? Let me see something real quick. All right. So this was back in June 22nd. Tesla deployed a small group of self-driving taxis picking up paying passengers on Sunday in Austin, Texas, with CEO Elon Musk announcing the RoboTaxi launch and social media influencers posting videos of their first rides. The event marked the first time Tesla cars without human drivers have carried paying riders, a business that Musk sees as crucial to the electric car maker's financial future. Updated with the news, blase. He called the moment the accumulation of a decade of hard work in a post of his social media platform X, and noted that the AI chip and software teams were built from scratch within Tesla. Teslas were spotted early Sunday in a neighborhood called South Congress, with no one in the driver's seat but one person in the passenger seat. The automaker planned a small trial with about 10 vehicles and front seat riders acting as safety monitors, though it remained unclear how much control they had over the vehicles. In recent days, the automaker sent invites to a select group of influencers of a carefully monitored RoboTaxi trial in a limited zone. The riders are being offered for a flat fee of $4.20. Musk said on X. Tesla inventor and social media personality Sawyer Merritt posted videos on X Sunday afternoon showing him ordering, getting picked up, and taking a ride to a nearby bar and restaurant. Fraser's Long and okay, all of that. It's now starting to get boring. All right, but moral of the story is that this is getting put into full effect. Like this is the transition is happening, right? So the confidence that I have had in Tesla is just growing more and more by the day. All right. I didn't want to make this video this long, guys. Texas lawmakers asked Tesla to delay the RoboTaxi launch until the law's effective date for public and trust reasons. All right. If you like, I can pull up because Tesla's rollouts include human safety monitors. Yeah, this is gonna be this is gonna be next level stuff, y'all. But we gotta remember that Tesla is under a lot of risk and scrutiny, but I have a lot of trust in Tesla because typically when products drop on Tesla, it has already been tested, right? Over and over and over and over again already. So it's already been experimented on. So I'm definitely going to be keeping my faith open about that. Now, here's an interesting one here. iRobot. Let's finish with a strong warning about iRobot because this is what's going to help you understand what it is you need to know, what to look for, so you can, not make informed decisions. You want to make informed decisions. Let's just say that. Now, this is the company that created the Roomba, the robot vacuum that once symbolized futuristic living. The stock hit $125 a share, and today it's trading around $4.77. So what went wrong? I remember when these robotic vacuums came out, I had a lot of faith in them. I never invested in this though. Our robots, their sales collapsed down over 40% year over year. They issued a warning that might not even stay in business. And the Amazon buyout deal that could have saved them, it fell apart. Without that safety net, investors lost confidence in the share price. It took a complete nosedive. But the deeper reason is this. Our robot stopped evolving. It had lack of innovation and it just could not adapt. It had the same exact product sold over time, and the deals and partnerships that they wanted to go through never went through. Right? So think about it. They actually announced that they may not be able to stay in business. For one, that's crucifying yourself. Because investors are going to get scared and they're gonna start pulling back. They're going to retreat. Then Amazon had the opportunity to help save the business, but which was out of Amazon control and out of iRobot control. iRobot didn't do nothing wrong. Only thing they did wrong was not innovate. They didn't grow. They weren't looking to prepare correctly for the future. But by Amazon having no control, iRobot having no control, and they put restrictions on iRobot in that partnership between Amazon. So once news broke that Amazon won't have the ability to partner up with iRobot, which would have been massive for iRobot, but they still would have been stagnant. They wouldn't have took a nosedive. They would have still been, iRobot still would have been stagnant if Amazon was able to partner up with them, but they would have been stagnant because they continued to have the same exact product. Only way you can, you have to be able to innovate and you have to be able to adapt. So always pay attention to how companies are adapting, how they're innovating, who they're partnering with. These things matter because they will be in much better shape if they had that partnership with Amazon. For sure. For sure. You know what I'm saying? They won't be... I don't see them doing better than like AMD or, you know what I'm saying, or NVIDIA or Intel. I don't see them going hard on that level. But I definitely would be able to see, definitely would have been able to see maybe a little bit of growth, a little bit of stagnation, a couple ups, a couple downs, but nothing massive. I would not have been able to see something massive coming out of it if they did partner up with Amazon. They just would have been able to stay in business and stay afloat unless they adapted or unless they had some innovation. And that's just how it is. So take that into consideration, you guys. Let's go back over here to the results. Amazon calls off iRobot acquisition amid antitrust scrutiny, right? This was last year. I'm only showing you guys now just so you can understand how business works, how these stocks can affect you for the long term, how it can affect you for the short term, what to pay attention to, what not to pay attention to. Remember, it's not just about updates. You know, this is about me teaching you, right? Because I want to see more winners. Amazon said it no longer, and I want you to be able to win on your own, right? Amazon said it no longer plans to acquire iRobot amid regulatory hurdles, sending shares of the Roomba maker tumbling. iRobot said it would lay off 350 employees, or about 31% of its workforce, and that CEO Colin Angle would step down. The deal fell through amid reports that the European Commission would block the acquisition. Amazon SVP and General Counsel David Zapolsky said the acquisition faced undue and disproportionate regulatory hurdles. Amazon said it no longer plans to acquire iRobot, sending shares of the Roomba maker tumbling over 6% in intraday trading Monday. Sheesh. The deal fell through as reports earlier this Monday cast doubt on its future after the European Commission reportedly told Amazon that the acquisition was likely to be blocked. This outcome will deny customers faster innovation and more competitive prices. Woo! So understand what that means, y'all. This means that when it says this outcome will deny consumers faster innovation and more competitive prices. So without that partnership with Amazon, their prices are going to be higher. It's going to take them longer to get it, right? Because it's affecting the consumer faster innovation. And you got more competitive prices. So you see where they went wrong? You see where they went wrong? Sheesh. Amazon would have been able to, Amazon would have been able to help them do some things. I can see a bunch of, you know what I'm saying, single moms or housewives, you know what I'm saying, getting them an iRobot to vacuum the floor. Oh man, well, I remember when that came out, I thought it was a wonderful product. I thought it was going to do extremely well, and it did. It just wasn't able to compete. It wasn't able to adapt. It wasn't able to innovate, and it wasn't able to get that partnership with Amazon. If you're not innovating, you're depreciating, and this is why I made a big deal in my last market update about AMD. In that market update about AMD, right, I talked about how OpenAI, they have a partnership with OpenAI, and it's some things that's going to be happening with AMD, because people are looking to opt out of. People are looking to, remember, Nvidia has high prices now because everybody goes to Nvidia, so they went up on their prices. So now with that partnership with OpenAI, other companies are looking at this, and I'll be talking more about it. So the lesson here, guys, don't fall in love with a brand, fall in love with execution. A company's name won't protect your portfolio performance. Your performance will, right? It's not about the company name that's going to protect your portfolio. Your performance will. When you invest, keep studying after you buy. Are they still growing? Are they still leading? Are they still solving problems? If not, protect your capital and pivot early. So across all these stories, AMD adapting, Tesla evolving, iRobot collapsing, the message is clear. Innovation pays, stagnation costs. Now, this is Master Quency reminding you, trade off education and not emotion. Treat your portfolio like a growing savings account, right? Stay disciplined, stay informed, and always make sure that you protect your investments. Work, hustle, invest. I'm Master Quency, and I'm up out of here, folks.